After years of specializing in narcissistic abuse recovery, I have watched people memorize every red flag list on the internet. Love bombing, future faking, triangulation, gaslighting. And those are all real and worth knowing. But today I want to talk about the single red flag that matters more than all the others combined. The one that, if you only watched for this, would protect you in almost every relationship for the rest of your life. Hi, my name is Michele Paradise, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. And if you are, please hit the notification button so you don't miss any of my videos. I am a trauma-informed therapist with over 20 years experience, and my YouTube channel is all about bringing together my clinical knowledge and information with my lived experience to help you navigate and improve the most important relationship in your life, which is the one with yourself. So the word today is accountability. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will see relationships and your own healing completely differently. Let me be precise about what I mean by accountability, because it gets thrown around a lot and most people misunderstand it. Accountability is not saying sorry. Anyone can say sorry. Narcissists say sorry constantly. Accountability is something much deeper and much rarer. Real accountability has several parts. First, the person acknowledges what they actually did specifically without minimizing it. Not, I am sorry you felt that way, but I did this thing and it was wrong. No, that's not an apology or accountability. Second, they sit with the impact. They let themselves feel the discomfort of having hurt someone they care about without rushing to make that discomfort go away. Third, they change their behavior, not just promise to change, actually change over time, consistently. And fourth, they do all of this without making you feel responsible for managing their feelings about it. That last part is crucial. When a healthy person is held accountable, they do not collapse into a puddle and need you to comfort them. They do not rage at you for bringing it up. They do not turn it into a story about how they are actually the victim. They simply own it. This is genuinely hard for all of us. Accountability requires a stable sense of self, the ability to tolerate shame without being destroyed by it, and real empathy for the person you hurt. Most emotionally healthy people can do it imperfectly. Narcissists cannot do it at all. So what does a narcissist do when you try to hold them accountable? Well, this is where the pattern becomes unmistakable once you know what to look for. They deflect. You bring up something they did, and suddenly the conversation is about something you did 3 weeks ago. The subject changes so fast that your head spins. They deny. That never happened. You're remembering it wrong. I never said that. This is gaslighting. We all know that word. And it makes you question your own memory and perception. They blame shift. I only did that because you made me. If you had not done that, I never would have done that. Suddenly, their behavior is your fault. They play the victim. This is the big one. You come to them wounded, and within minutes, somehow, they are the one who is hurt, and you are comforting them. Your legitimate grievance evaporates, and you are apologizing to them, and they rage. If none of the softer tactics work, they escalate to anger, contempt, or stonewalling until you back down just to make the conflict stop. Notice what all of these have in common. Every single one of them moves the accountability away from the narcissist and onto you. That is the entire function, to never, ever sit in the discomfort of having been wrong. Once you see this pattern, you cannot unsee it, and it is the clearest diagnostic tool you have. So why do I say accountability is the only red flag that truly matters? Because it is the one that predicts everything else. A person who can take genuine accountability will repair the relationship when they make a mistake, and everyone makes mistakes. The difference between a healthy relationship and an abusive one is not the absence of conflict or hurt, it is what happens afterward. In a healthy relationship, someone hurts you, you name it, they own it, they change, and the relationship actually grows stronger through the repair. This is how trust is built. In an abusive relationship, someone hurts you, you name it, and you end up worse off than before you brought it up. You walk away confused, blamed, and somehow apologizing. The repair never comes. The same harm happens again and again because nothing is ever actually acknowledged or changed. Here is the practical power of this. You do not need to diagnose anyone. You do not need to know whether they technically meet the criteria for narcissistic personality disorder. You just need to watch what happens when you express a legitimate hurt. Their response to accountability tells you everything you need to know about whether this relationship is safe. A safe person can hear, "You hurt me," and stay present. An unsafe person will make you regret ever saying it. Now, I want to talk about something that genuinely makes me angry after 20 years of this work. People who harm others are rarely held accountable nearly enough. Not by their families, who often enable them and pressure you to keep the peace. I remember that one. Not by the court systems, which frequently do not understand coercive control and can be manipulated by a charming abuser. Not by their social circles, who only see the public mask, and not by our culture, which still does not take this kind of harm seriously. So what happens? The entire burden of the aftermath falls on the survivor. Think about this. The narcissist causes the harm, and then you are the one who goes to therapy. You are the one who reads the books, joins the support groups, does the inner work, rebuilds your shattered self-esteem, and slowly reconstructs your life. You do years of painful labor to heal from something they will never even acknowledge they did. Most of what we politely called moving on is actually the survivor doing all of the work while the person who caused the harm faces no consequences whatsoever. They often move on immediately to a new partner, a new source of supply, completely untouched by what they did to you. This is not justice. I want to name that clearly because so many survivors are waiting for an accountability that is never going to come, and that waiting keeps them stuck. So here is the reframe that I want you to take from this video, because it is the thing that actually sets people free. Your healing does not require their accountability. I know how unfair that is. I know part of you is waiting for them to finally understand, to finally admit what they did, to finally say the words that would make it all make sense. I understand that longing deeply. But if you tie your healing to their accountability, you hand them the key to your recovery, and they will never use it. You will wait forever. The freeing truth is that you can heal completely without them ever acknowledging a single thing. Your recovery requires only your commitment to yourself, your willingness to validate your own experience, your decision to stop waiting for closure from someone incapable of giving it, and to give that closure to yourself instead. You become the accountable one, accountable to your own healing, accountable to your own future, accountable to the person you are becoming. That is where your power lives, and it is the one place they can never reach. So watch for accountability in new relationships, in old ones, in friendships, in family. When you express a hurt, does this person stay present and own their part? Or do they make you regret speaking? That single test will tell you more than any red flag list ever could. And in your own healing, stop waiting for the accountability that is not coming. Give yourself what they cannot. If this put words to something you have been carrying, you are in the right place. Subscribe for more. Leave a comment and tell me whether you recognize this pattern, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Take good care of yourself. You deserve accountability, even if it has to start with the one you give yourself. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video.